Hey everybody, it's Rory from ANSgear, and looky here. Brand new Geo R5. So the next generation of Geo after the Geo 4. So the Geo R5. Reloaded, reimagined, redesigned, everything on this one. So I have a Geo 4 up here also. So as we start to pull the Geo 5 apart, we can compare it to the Geo 4 before it. And we can see some differences, some things that have changed, everything going on inside there. So let's open this one up first. Got a sleeve. This is the color that's going to be this. This is the Resurgence. It's a gold and blue gun right there. So we've got the same sleeve system or style that they've been using so far in the past. Open that up. Got a nice case. Got the hand strap on there. Thing up. And here we've got our manual. Our trading card is in there. We've got our barrel front, our barrel back. We've got two S63 inserts, 680, what, 688 I think is always this one. Yeah, so 689 and 685 for the blue one. Yep, 685. We got our spare parts kit, always adding spare parts kits in there. Extras for everything inside there. So that's, it's so cool about Planet is they give you the most extensive spare parts kit I've seen in any gun setup right there. They give you everything. They give you everything you should need to be able to service your gun yourself. Barrel sleeve, grease, and then got our gun, so gold and blue right there. And we've got our toolkit right there. I got my own tool, so we're going to use that one. But let's move this out of the way. Here's our gun. And then we'll take this one right here, the Geo 4 right here. Happens to be a gold body as well. And we'll put it next to it. So the first thing we'll do, let's weigh these guns up. And we'll be able to see a weight difference between these two, between last version and new version. Right there. And both of these do have batteries in them. Let's weigh Oldie Bones first. Make sure that it does. Yeah, it has batteries in it. So it's in fluid ounces right there. We don't want that. Grams, kilograms, pounds, and ounces. So 1 pound, 11.8 ounces between an original Geo 4. 1 pound, 11.9. So they're basically the same exact weight. 11.8. 11.9. This one still has its tags on it though. That's why it weighs a little bit more. Just kidding. Basically they're the same weight right there. All right, so weight wise, still identical. Let's take a look at where we've got going on right here. So let's come in here. All right, so as far as a set right here, I'm going to try to line those ones up. Those look relatively even across the bottom right there. Grip, we can see the grip sits way higher on this one, even coming up higher just at the bottom right here. So grip's up higher. One thing we notice right off the bat is there's no eye covers. There are eyes, but there's no eye cover that's sitting on the outside of the gun. So we had our eye cover sitting right here on the Geo 4. Now this front grip actually covers over the eye. The eye is sitting right in this area right here, and this rubber grip covers over the top of that, making a good seal and being able to keep dirt and debris out of that eye cavity. We have our grip frame coming up through here. On the Geo 4, our air path went through ASA, regulator, through here, up, and then into our solenoid, which sat up in here. Now our air path is in through the ASA, up through the regulator, to the solenoid, which is now here, and air is put into the engine here, and then transferred up front and put into the engine up here. So as we see when we take it apart, the whole solenoid air distribution system is completely different than you saw it on the Geo 4. Grips, same kind of grip, where it's got that two-piece grip with the latch, which works great right there. But obviously it's been redesigned because we have a new frame set up right here. So the grip is different in design or shape, but same in function. That makes sense right there. On the back, we've got our buttons. Now that we have the buttons encased now, we won't get as much dirt and debris inside. We have, you know, the rubberized outside to them, so there's no way for stuff to get in. And then we have the normal buttons on the back right there. We've got our screen set a little bit lower than before. Right there, so sitting down a little bit lower on that. I don't know if I can, it's hard to line these up exactly the same. Now it's about right there. Now let's go to this side over here. And then you can see that. I'm going to try to do a little lay down on top here. Try to line up the ASAs. Trying to get them in the same spot. It looks like our body has grown. So our body length has gotten longer. Let me do front to front. So this is front barrel. So front gun to front gun. See, our feed neck is in a different area. The body length has gotten longer. The ASA is set further back, so our body length is longer. Grip set a little bit further back. This is a little bit longer towards the bottom right here. Feed neck's a little bit set back a little bit further. All right. A couple other things from the outside. Obviously, we've got on the ASA, one thing that people didn't like was if their gun was degassed or their pops was forward, they didn't have a way to turn their velocity adjuster. So if they were doing it at a chrono and they wanted to degas the gun to adjust the where their velocity was at, they would have to take their tank off so that they could push their pops cap back and then get the Allen key in to adjust it. Well, that's now taken care of, where that's accessible from the bottom. That's a change we saw on the CS platform. The screw for the trigger. So trigger is removable from the outside. So if we take that screw out, we can pop the trigger out of there. Flow restrictor has been moved. We'll talk about that in a minute too. So our SFR is up here on the older gun. It's actually underneath our grips right here. So let's start taking the gun apart. Let's physically get it apart. So I'm gonna pull the grips off. So there's our grip off of the Geo 5 right there. And you can see our battery compartment is different now too. So this had the old style where the AA's were on the outside like this. This has that enclosed compartment now. So there's no chance for those batteries to get out of position and lose contact and have the gun shut down. Let's take that off of there. That, and then let's get these ones off of here. Alright, so that comes off of there. That's what we're looking at here. So with the new grip style, you can see how much farther the bolt cap comes down. See right here, you have the bolt cap into the body. Now the bolt cap is really even further down than the body was right there. Here's our new flow restrictor adjustment right here, rather than being up front. And why is that different now? Because the solenoid is now right here. And this solenoid's purpose built for that flow restrictor to be right there rather than right up here. And again, our solenoid's up here in this one, and our solenoid's back here. So let's talk about our eye covers. Well, we've got the latch still right there. So the latch pops back. This would come up. And on the Geo, this one needs to be cleaned. You've got your detents, but also you've got your eyes, and this is a wired eye right here. A lot of the guns now, Planet is moving away from a wired eye. They're running an eye that's on the board, and then it uses the light pipe to see up and into the breech. Well, that's the way the new Geo 4 is right there, except that the light pipe is just on a plate like this. So no longer does this plate get exposed to the outside. It sits underneath the grip, so it's in here, out of the way, kept safe safe from debris and all that stuff, so that it can be just tucked away right in there. And another cool thing, extra detents. In the Geo 4, you had an extra set of detents right here. This one didn't do anything. That's your active detent up here at the top. This one over here was just an extra one. Now they've got this little spot right here, and they've put an extra detent in there. I mean, you could put 3 on that side and 3 on this side. You could put 6 extra detents in there, I guess, if you wanted to. But there is an extra one there and on the other side, right from the factory right there. All right, so let's go this way. Old style Planet board, the big flat board that they used to use. Now they're all moving towards this MME package right here. It's a sandwich style board, takes up way less space inside the frame, so they can use these frames for all different purposes now. We can run gas lines through them. We can put the Bluetooth modules in them. The way that they're stacking them like pancakes on top of each other really leads us to a better, more compact setup. Get all the same features, but in a tiny little space right there. So you can see the stack of boards right here, not taking up all this space. That way we can get a solenoid in here and reconfigure the entire gun, and then our flow restrictor can be moved back here as well. So same package setup we saw CS3, LV2, now incorporated into the 5th generation Geo, the Geo R5. Let's go ahead and flip it over so we can see the other side. Totally different looking at it from this side. Our board package is still sitting in here. We've got this big screen set up on here, and then a lot of just wasted open space. Now we've got probably more structural rigidity right there, seeing as though we've got less machined out. Our solenoid sitting underneath there, and then our trigger assembly right there. If we wanted to take this trigger out, we have to separate the frame off the body and then bring the trigger up through the top to get it off. You can also just take the shoe off. If you really just wanted to get this part off, you can get to the screw from the inside right here and just take the shoe off. But if you needed to pull the whole thing out, you would need to do it through the top. But now with the way it is set up on here, I can just take this pin out. And this is the way it is for the CS3, the LV. And now we have everything. If we want to take our shoe and change it to a different style, take the screw out, take the barrel axle out, and then put it back in. I'm going to put that back in there. It's all about easy use, right? Well, that's it. Same with our eye cover. We talked about that on the other side. All right, so next, let's take this out and take this out. Should we do the bolts now? I guess we can. Let's put the guns to the side, and we can focus on our new drivetrains right here. So let's go just length. You can see, boy, that other gun's dirty. Size-wise, much longer. That accounts for the longer body that we were seeing on there. And again, you get a longer drive engine like this, you can put a bigger volume of air into it, and you can get all sorts of benefits out of having more volume inside there. Let's break it down. I'm going to take this one apart. I'll take this one apart. All right, there we go. Okay. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have had the older Geos, but I know it's not that hard because I've done it a bunch of times. But a lot of people struggled with getting the prop shaft out of this one because of this little plastic retainer ring that's inside there. It's not really that hard, but I don't know what it is. Some people just didn't quite get the way it worked. Oh, can's rolling away. Stay there. I'll move it to the top side. All right. So there we go. Let me try to see if we can get that part out of there too. So this is our little plunger that goes into the back. It's our prop shaft, bolt and can right there. So bigger everything. So I don't know how much longer this has gotten, but it has gotten longer right there. I'm gonna wipe some of this off of here, just so it doesn't get everywhere. Got some fluff going on. All right, so our hole porting, very different on there. Look how large these ports are to let that air travel in. Once that bolt starts to move forward and it wants to release all the air stored inside of here, you get that to gradually pop in through that first little hole. So we're getting that ease of airflow into the gun, making it super, super gentle on brittle paint. With the addition of with the use of the SFR, you really can control the gun and how you want it to shoot right there. Got a much smaller front can, well, I guess a can in general, and an elongated rear section right here. Prop shafts, very different right there. Plunger setup seems to be the same. Usually that plunger is just to help lock the cap in place, because without it, your cap will just boop, come right off right there. That's all that part really does. And then the spring that's inside here helps return or push the prop shaft forward once it's expelling its air, so we can shut the airflow off and trap that unused air in there and help with efficiency throughout the gun. All right, so that's our breakdown of our bolts right there. Again, not hard to take apart in any way. The guns are maintenance friendly when it comes to taking them down and stuff like that. Super, super easy. I'm going to move this over here for now, and I'll put that together later. I'm going to put this one back together because it's so easy. Took part of that over there. Pop that through here. That's going to go in through here. Bring back your spring. It's going to go in there. There we go. Look how easy that is. All back together. That's simple. I love it. Love how simple that is. All right, let's open up the guns so that we can see what's different on the inside, besides just the engine. I'm going to take out my front frame screw. My rear frame screw. And I can separate these two. Let me just get this one real quick. This one does have a pin in the front, which we do need to pop out. Put those in there to shore up the front of the frame right there, because people were bending them all the time. So that was put in to keep the frames from bending. You don't see that in the new one. We've got a full length frame right there rather than just, I don't know, 7/8 of the body. All right, so let's look at this right here. So here's our setups. We had all this jumble of stuff up here, these gaskets and everything for the solenoid that was set at the front of the body. But now that our solenoid is sitting right back here, we don't have that anymore. So we've got our wiring. So here's our wires coming from our power. So this is our battery wire running underneath here all the way to the back. We've got our eye board. These are our two sensors right here that are using the light pipes to see up and around. We've got our wiring for our eyes. They come back and they go underneath this bracket that's part of the trigger. As you can see, this one was a common problem. If you did not get your wiring set just right inside here, both of these wires have been smashed. This one is crushed all the way along here. This one is right here. So these eye wires I would recommend to be replaced, and I will let that customer know that. And then they come back here. This was called the wire tidy. People would break these all the time for the wiring coming up. And our gaskets right here. So all of that has been refined and tidied up. So we have the wiring coming back through here. It's kept in place, and then it drops down inside here and comes right down and plugs in. On this one, we had our power wire coming up all the way down and then coming in the side and plugging in over here. And then we had our whole solenoid assembly system. Look at this big old thing going on here. We had to have these clips on the side so that our eye wires could be held in place, moving along here, all coming back to a board that had sensors, or I shouldn't say sensors, that had pads right here that would connect to sprung terminals down in here so that they could communicate with each other. Well, that's all gone now. All of that nonsense is gone. We'll put these side by side again. All right, so now we've got our air from our body right here coming through our regulator up into here, coming straight up into the solenoid, and then the solenoid is putting the air into this, I'm going to call it a manifold right there. So this block, some of the air is going to go up in here through the large hole in the back, which is going to fill this chamber right here with air. And then that air is also going to go into this hole, be pushed up through this pipe, and then out of a hole that is up inside the body up here. And that air is going to come in between these two O-rings, and it's going to push this back. So when you gas the gun up, it goes dunk, and it slides back like that. No wiring, no things to get smashed, nothing to get pinched. Everything is tucked under. It's got a lip, it's got a groove, it's got a clip, it's got a something to keep it all in the right spot. We've got our new eye system inside there, so we don't have wired eyes that are in here anymore. We've got hidden eye covers, basically, so that they can keep dirt and grime out of there. Because when you're playing, the last thing you want is to have an eye fault or an eye issue because of paint. Now, if you break paint, that's a different story. Hopefully the gun is not going to let that happen with the way it's supposed to be handling paint these days. Super fragile paint can shoot it without a problem right there. Give you a side profile of these two next to each other. It's just more refined. Refined. You get it. All right. Did I miss anything? I didn't take apart the regulator. That really isn't any different inside there. Take the ASA off. Reg stuff will drop down through there. Whatever. Let's take it off, right? We're sitting here. We'll take it off of there. We'll just take this one off, though. We don't need to take them both off. Might as well, since I've got everything else apart. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Just flung my Allen key off the table. Magic hand. Bring it back. Woo. Hey, look. There you go. We've seen this setup before. We know what's going on. We got our piston and our spring up inside there. Piston still sitting up in there. Spring on there. And then we've got our components for our reg seat, adjuster, everything's down inside there. Same old, same old. Tried and true. We know it works. But that's going back together. So I'm going to put this Geo 5 back together, Geo R5, together real quick so you can see the finished setup. I don't think we need to put that one back together. I can do that off camera. So let's get this back together. Super simple. I love being able to just put something together and not have to worry that I'm pinching something, crushing something. Like I said, that should always be a worry. If you don't worry about it, then that's when you're going to smash something. But if you know everything's in the right spot, then you're ready to go. All right, tighty tight and tighty tight. Put that on there. I like to put my grips back on before I put the bolt on. Even though if you have the bolt up, you can do it. It always just seems like I struggle. So I like to put my rear grips on before I put my bolt in. That way I can make sure everything lines up properly, that nothing's out of position. And then I can just easily slide everything together. There we have it. The brand new Geo R5 in stock now. Let's go ahead and take this outside and do some shooting from ANSgear.com. All right, we're outside with the brand new Geo R5 right here. I put it into ramp so we can shoot a bunch of paint out of it. Got my rotor on here. I've got that brand new Citrus Geo, Citrus GI 3-star right here. That's a brand new paint, so let's go ahead and shoot it. So this is the brand new Geo R5. Smooth, super smooth. Ooh, that shoots real nice. You guys need to check this one out. This is a beauty of a gun, the brand new Geo R5. It's in stock right now at ANSgear.com.